Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to KipTV News. I am Kip, and today I am joined by sniper and main strategist for UGC Silver Team, Yeti Interpretive Polka. I'm joined by Dreadnought. Dreadnought, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing just great. First of all, I think we can't go any further without asking about your team names. Yeti Interpretive Polka. Tell us about what that is.
Well, I'm not sure if I was in a drunken stupor or something, but our captain asked for a team name, so it came out. I regret it to this day.
Do you call yourself Yips for short?
Yeah, Yip or YYIP is fine.
Okay. Well, I won't ask about the other Y. Anyway, so but you're not main captain, but you conceive yourself as somebody who's like a very, very important part of this team. So talk about a little bit about your role as a sniper, but then also as somebody more involved in like strategy planning in a UGC Silver team.
Well, it's a little bit difficult. It's a bit of a juggle because as I can prepare and I can sort of help my teammates on maybe what they're doing because I do have some Highlander experience. But really when it comes down to like playing the game as sniper, you're not exactly in the battle. You're not in like the combo play. So it becomes a little bit hard to tie in, but I do my best to prepare them and then I mean all my players are very good game sense, good DM, so they can usually do it fine. Sometimes I wish I was a little bit more involved in the combo, but sniper can be fun, so I live with it.
All right. You said you have that experience. Talk about your competitive experience, if you'd like.
Uh, Quite a while ago, Captain Seer Shadows asked me to play sniper for his Highlander team, and we didn't have enough people because the season was just about to start, so we couldn't get enough people. But then I became a sniper sub for another team, Hello Goodbye, and became their pyro main. And then after that, to the summer season, I started to play main sniper. And then I did that for two past seasons, and now into season 9.
Yeah, I hear the skill for pyro and sniper. They're all very transferable, very similar classes. You can't see my face, but I'm questioning that switch. But no, that's great. Okay, so you've been playing since season 6.
Yeah,
And you Yeti, we'll say the whole name. Yeti Interpretive Polka has been active since season 7, correct?
yeah.
Has it been the same steady roster, or have you seen a lot of changes?
It's actually been a lot of changes. Me and Seer of Shadows are the only original members right now in the roster. And one of our old members might come back next season. We're not too sure, though. It's a chance. But if he does come back, there'll be 3 original members, otherwise just 2 surviving.
Wow. So, but you see this as like a long-going team, not just as a we'll play this season and we'll see if it happens for next season. But you're already looking ahead to season 10.
Yeah, I think if our roster stays together right now, I think we'll be really solid in Season 10, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome. But this is your first season in Silver, right? You were Steel, season 7 and 8, right?
Yeah, we were Steel Red in Season 8.
Okay. Have you seen a lot of changes in Silver, or do you feel it if it's any different?
Um, well, there was a lot of talk early on that saying, like, Silver was the new Steel sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed that some of the teams we faced have a little bit more coordination. I think it's because they played in Steel, and then Silver sort of became that skill, and, like, the players' individual skill didn't increase a lot, but they were still as a team. They had that cohesion. So that chemistry carried on, and I think Silver's a little bit more coordinated from what I've seen. But yeah, I mean, I've only played 2 games in the
Right.
division, so
Right. Full disclosure, we're taping this on Monday afternoon, so haven't played the Badwater match yet. We won't talk about Badwater because we'll get because you'll see the results tonight anyway. But let's talk a little bit about Haunt, which is next week. You said you were part of season 7, which was the infamous summer season, where we saw the likes of Canal Zone and Vitalism, which Capture the Flag Haunt is basically a reskin of. So tell me about what's your opinion? What's kind of like the overall feel? I don't know if you have a pulse on the feel of, or finger on the pulse of the Silver community, but what are people thinking about Haunt?
I think there's a lot of people are on both sides because a lot of people are saying that Haunt is just a reskin, just darker, and like the darkness makes it poor to play on, and other people are saying that there's a lot of improvements to it over Vitalism. So I'm not sure. I think it's still a little bit experimental, but if it is an improvement over Vitalism, I think it'll be pretty fun. It'll be a change of pace for Capture the Flag, I think.
It definitely is a change of place. It's very interesting, and it's definitely different from a Capture the Flag Turbine or anything like that. How do you see your role as a sniper on that map?
Um, I think I'm probably going to spend a lot of my time just making sure that the shenanigans don't happen up top and they don't send like scouts or soldiers to jump down and stuff. I just want to keep control. It might be difficult. It was hard on Vitalism, but that's what happens when you have a very like sort of deathmatch type map as sniper.
So you'll be Dreadnought, Shenanigans Controller. That's something you
You
could
could
probably...
call you could call me that.
All right, I will call you that. Um,
Oh dear.
so then, so as far as preparing your team for a map like Haunt or like Vitalism, what do you say to them? Like, how many? Well, first, let's just talk about your team. How many new players to competitive do you have, or are these all seasoned veterans? What do you got? What are you dealing with here?
Actually, it's a lot of people who have played in Highlander before, and Sixes, actually. Our Scout and our Demo have both played Highlander and Sixes, so that's good experience.
That's good.
And almost everyone except for our Spy has played Highlander seasons. And our Spy is catching on very quickly, so overall I think is quite good.
So that's good. But then again, even if you have Highlander experience, doesn't mean you have experience with Vitalism slash Haunt. So then,
Yeah, that's true.
what do you tell your team going into this? How do you strategize for something like you said is so deathmatch based?
I
I
think
don't know.
I'd tell my team, make sure that the combo is your focus, because I mean, I haven't spent too much time on Haunt. I know more about Vitalism, so the changes might throw me off a little bit, but I realized in Vitalism, your combo was really powerful, and if you kept it together, they could not just pick off little pieces of it with, like, sending in a scout or a spy. So I think keeping that combo really strong, and then going in with the flanks is probably the best part. Because with that focus, you can do most of your pushes.
Right now, will you be scrimming a lot to prepare for Haunt?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we've already done 7 or 8 scrims for Badwater, so
Jeez.
yeah.
So Silver is. Were you doing that type of scrimming and that preparation when you were in Steel?
Near the end, we were starting to do a lot more scrims. We started to pick it up, but in the beginning, we were still a little bit, and we've got new players. We were a little bit nervous, so we held off on the scrims for the most part, but midway season, we started getting into a lot more practice.
All right, so that's something that obviously, well, I don't know, obviously, but definitely helped you when you moved up the division, and then is taking its kind of role now as you maneuver your way through the silver division, I would say.
Yeah.
So who else have you? Okay, again, it's only 2 games played. 1 game will happen tonight. But who are you thinking about as competitors, possibly for first place teams in silver?
I think Neon Rocks it's a pretty popular team, but we scrimmed them lately, and it was a very close match, very difficult. They had some very good players on them. So, I mean, I think that's going to be a tough match for anyone who comes across them. I have subbed against Team Smitty. They were pretty impressive. So I think that there's a lot of teams that are just overall really solid. And I think it's going to be cool because there's not a lot of super teams, really. All the top teams are closely matched. I think there should be either upsets or some really close matches.
Yeah, and again, only 2 weeks in, but so far there are 13 teams that are 2-0. And I think that's the highest of any division in terms of undefeated teams. And then just talk about just the sheer size of silver. I'm looking at the rosters right now, and there's 51 teams.
Yeah, there's a lot.
How does that mess with you when you're trying to prepare? I don't know. Do you even like keep tabs on all these teams, or you just wait for who's coming the next week and be like, okay, so let's just attack this one week at a time?
I mean, when there's so many different teams, there's so many players, it's hard to keep track of it. So I think it's better just to focus on your team and, I mean, try to improve what your team is, and then when you know what team you're facing, then you can focus on beating them. But I mean, trying to keep track of everything, it's a little bit difficult.
Absolutely. But we actually have seen a lot of community members focusing on stats and like making stat logs available and spreadsheets and all that stuff. Has your team explored that at all or made use of any of those resources?
Uh, I wouldn't say so. We're not too active on the forums. We haven't been really looking at the logs. And I mean, in my opinion, I don't think logs are the best way to get information because I mean, so many things can happen during the game. But I guess they are cool to look at, so
So what's the best way to get information then?
um I'd say if you get a chance to scrim a team maybe you'll face in the future, then that's probably the best way because that really lets you in on like exactly what their strategy is. Like, do they Uber the demo? Do they Uber the heavy, etc., etc. So,
Right. Makes a lot of sense. So, in your opinion, top three teams at the end of the season.
hmm, I'd say I'd say Neon Rocks is going to be up there. They're very high level. Um, I think Team Smitty has a good chance. I'm not too sure about my team. I think we will get better as the season progresses because our main med just got in, so we don't really have that chemistry going very well. But near the end of the season, I'll probably get a better idea where we stand. But you also have Untitled up there,
Right.
so a lot of good teams. I don't know where it's gonna go.
All right, good answer. You won't make any enemies with that, probably. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But Silver, definitely a division to watch, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be a lot of close matches, so if anyone's looking on seeing entertaining games, like seeing Source TV of entertaining games, then I think this is a good place to look.
Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much sums up all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say about your team, your division, or any shout outs or anything like that?
I'd like to give a shout out to Seer of Shadows, who's a great captain on my team. I'd like to give a shout out to B7, who are great scrim partners, and they also threatened that they wouldn't let me into their mumble if I didn't give them a shout out.
All right.
Um,
Well, then, mission accomplished right there. Anything else? Just
Thank you to you for letting me have this interview. It's
that's
been a
what
lot
I
of
wanted
fun.
to hear. I wanted you to thank me. No, that's great. All right, well, I won't drag this on anymore. Again, Dreadnought from Team Yeti Interpretive Polka UGC Silver this season, but watch out for them. Definitely, we'll see some more of you in the remaining season. So good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember, I'm Kip. This is KipTV News, and stay tuned for more episodes.